What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another pregame prediction video. It is week 5, and boy, we got a big game. Sunday Night Football, two historic franchises, the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Let's jump on in.
Prescott, touchdown. Throw, look at middle, sacked again by Parsons again. CD Lamb, was he down? They say no for now, and he's into the end zone.
Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Cowboys content. And thank you so much for watching another edition of our pregame prediction videos. It's week 5. The Dallas Cowboys, who are 3-1, are traveling to Levi's Stadium to take on the San Francisco 49ers, who are 4-0. One of the last remaining undefeated teams in the NFL. And when the schedule came out in May, I know a lot of Cowboy fans circled this one. Not only is it primetime football, not only is it Sunday night, but it is against the San Francisco 49ers. And even outside of the current history of the past 3 seasons, and we'll talk about that, these two franchises go way back. I mean, your dad, your parents know about it, and their parents know about this historic rivalry that goes on between these two teams. So always a big game between these two, no matter what recent history has come up. They battled it out for decades, and we get another edition here between these two historic franchises. And I want to say something. If you stumbled across this video, I'm going to give you a different take that I guarantee no other Cowboy fan is going to give you. Because if you look up at the top, if you look at my channel, if you look at my profile picture, I started this on the firm belief that I am an unbiased and realistic Cowboys fan. So, I am a fan, obviously. There's a lot invested on my wall, and there's a lot invested throughout the years. Believe me, I'm a fan. But I am unbiased and I'm realistic, and that's why I started this channel. And hopefully that's why you guys stayed. I also do want to say this. I know everyone's hyped up for this matchup. I know everyone wants to get back at the 49ers. I know how passionate people are to get back in the ring against this 49ers team. And there have been some really good games the past couple of seasons. But let's not make it more than it needs to be. Look, I went to that Cowboys and Cardinals game. They lost. But I remember all these Cardinal fans, specifically one gentleman, grabbed my shoulder, was shaking me after Dak threw the interception in the end zone. They were going wild. And I'm just thinking, there's a brief moment of anger when he was touching me. Because first off, don't touch me if I don't know you. But also, that's your Super Bowl? That's your biggest game of the year? And then granted, we went on a stadium tour the next day, and there was an Arizona Cardinals fan who was very excited about the win. And he admitted, rightfully so. He was like, yesterday beating the Dallas Cowboys? That's our Super Bowl. And you know what? Credit to him. Respect to him for admitting something like that. And that's fine. But Cowboy fans, we have a different standard. And that standard is 5 Super Bowls. It's being a championship team. It's hopefully hoisting the 6th Lombardi trophy for this franchise and this organization. I've already seen it. Leading up to the weeks, I'm on this panel on the Player's Choice with a lot of other Cowboy content creators. I will say this. This game is hyping up to be something more than it actually is. And it is just a week 5 matchup between two really good teams that are looking to find out where they are on the contender spectrum early in the season. Do not make this more than it needs to be, win or lose. And that's what I'm going to say and start off with. If we win, great. Let's move on to the next week. Because you could win this game, move up to 4-1, end the season 4-13. Nothing matters until we see this team, and I'm talking about the 49ers, until we see them in the playoffs. I've been very adamant about this. I've been telling everyone this. I don't really care about this game win or lose, and we'll jump into that. But I want the 49ers in the playoffs. That's the one that I want. And I cannot wait for that rematch. I can almost guarantee we will see them again. And if you ask me, I think it might just be in the NFC Championship game. But let's not make it more than it needs to be. It's a rivalry. We want to win, of course. But you know what we should do? If we win, shake their hands. GG. Good game. And move on to the Chargers. Monday Night Football. Because there's so much that can happen literally between week 5 and week 18 that can make this game. I am so tired, and I'm sorry to start this video off like this, and I have no idea how long this video is going to be, but I have to say this. I'm so tired of valuing regular season wins, regular season games. Look, I was very excited when we took down the undefeated New Orleans Saints a few years ago, but I hated the fact that we surrounded that game like we won the NFC Championship. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm laying down here? There's different standards here. And let's just not get carried away. This is a week 5 matchup. Week 5 matchup, win or lose. Let's jump on in. You guys already got me going. The Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers, like I say, they're a very historic rivalry. In fact, the Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers all-time record matchups against each other, the Dallas Cowboys are on the losing spectrum of that. 14 wins, 15 losses, and 1 tie against the 49ers all time. It's funny, we do that every week. I give you that all-time fact, and this is the first time that the Cowboys have more losses than wins, which is very surprising. That's very rare to see that. So these two teams are about that. But something else you need to know, obviously we played this team the past 2 seasons, but the last time that we actually played the 49ers in the regular season, you got to go back to 2020, the COVID season, and the Cowboys won 41-33. Tony Pollard had an incredible run that game. CeeDee Lamb had an incredible return on the onside kick, and we won 41-33. Granted, the 49ers were not what they were, right? They were struggling that season as well as the Cowboys, but that was the last time the Cowboys and the 49ers faced off in the regular season like they will be doing Sunday night in week 5. But, yep, let's bring it up. Last time they played was Sunday, January 22nd, 2023, where the Dallas Cowboys just came off a very exciting wild card win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Dak Prescott had 5 total touchdowns in that game, and we went to San Francisco and we lost 19-12. We all remember that one. I don't think I have to recap that one. It is still salt in the wound, and it is still fresh. Dak threw 2 interceptions. Defense gave a very valiant effort. A lot of people criticized Trayvon Diggs for missing a tackle on George Kittle. Brett Maher missed an extra point, you name it. And the year before that, yes, I'm going to go there and I'm going to bring it up. Sunday, January 16th, 2022, the Cowboys are at AT&T Stadium for the wild card playoffs. Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. And they went off in the running game. The 49ers shocked the Cowboys in the wild card, winning 23-17. And we all remember that last play, which I will stand by that. And you can actually watch my post-game reaction video to both of these, actually. I will link them right there. and they're actually one of the most viewed videos on my channel right now. But I will stand by that quarterback sneak even to this day. I think it was a very smart play. It's just... I think Dak went 5 yards a little bit too much. But anyways, let's get back to this season. The Cowboys are on the road for the 3rd time. And if you've been around here with the pregame predictions videos for a while, you know I am very, very, very adamant about road games. If you want to be a good team, if you want to be a great team, if you want to be a contender in this league, you have to win on the road for various reasons. It's about mental strength. It's about mental fortitude. It's about going up against not just the team, but obstacles in itself. Winning on the road says a whole lot about the guys that you have in that locker room and the coaching staff you have leading your team. The Cowboys last season They were 4-4 in the regular season, 1-1 in the playoffs. So total 5-5. And that's the one thing. If we can just get a winning record on the road, I like this team. And right now we're still following that same track. We're 1-1. We won in New York on opening day, and then we lost to the Arizona Cardinals because I was in attendance. So we're 1-1, and this team really struggles on the road. Sometimes you don't know what kind of team you're going to get on the road with this particular group of guys in the Mike McCarthy era. But one thing you should also notate, when the lights are on and the Cowboys have played once this season on Sunday Night Football, they are 1-0. They are undefeated. So take with that what you will. Those are some of the fun facts to get this pregame prediction video started. And we're going to jump into the defense and the offense, and be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Cowboys content. Let's jump on them, baby. The Cowboys defense versus this 49ers offense. Look, man, you're not going to see a lot of matchups like this between the two teams in the regular season. This is a playoff game. And if I'm Coach Mike, I'm setting that tone. I'm letting these guys know, look, you are not going to get an opportunity like this to play a team like this early in the season to find out what you are actually made of. This is a playoff game. If I'm Coach Mike, if I'm Coach DQ, if I'm Brian Schottenheimer, I'm laying it down to these guys, telling everyone in the locker room, this is a playoff game. This is not a regular season game. This is a playoff atmosphere. We need to come, be ready, be prepared, and bring our best, because you don't get opportunities like this, knowing that both these teams are most likely going to be playoff teams and seeing each other so early on in the season. But let's take a look at some of the stats and where both these teams rank, specifically the Cowboys defense and the 49ers offense. Right now, the offense for the San Francisco 49ers is second overall in the NFL. Wow. Not only are they really good, offensively, they are a high-powered machine. They are led by the front runner, MVP, Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is having himself an incredible season. He's been dominating and running the ball really well, and that's really what's given them so much success in the past few games for the San Francisco 49ers. But if you take a look at their schedule here, this offense is high-powered, man. 30 points in the first week, 30 points in the second week, 30 points in the third week, 35 points in the fourth week. This team has failed to score under 30 points. I mean, they've scored more than 30 points in all their games, and that's where you got to start, right? You got to start with that. And on the bright side, the Dallas Cowboys, their defense have not let up more than 30 points. So something's got to give here on Sunday night. But yes, Christian McCaffrey has had an incredible season so far. And like I said, he is definitely my pick for front runner for the MVP. And if we pull up his stats here, as I pull it up here, averaging 5.7 yards a carry, 459 yards, rushing yards. He's already halfway to 1,000 yards, 6 rushing touchdowns on the season. I mean, this man, and 1 receiving touchdown. I mean, I don't know how the NFL let this happen. I don't know how the NFL let this trade happen. The 49ers, John Lynch and their GM, they excelled with that trade. Now, look, I'm a Cowboys fan still, but I can still give respect to a really good team, and they have done something so well. And if you look back at the stats down there, they're 9th in passing, they're 3rd in rushing. This is a really good defense, and this is a really good opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys to see how, and they've been doing pretty well, right? They shut down the Giants. They allowed 10 points against the Jets. They allowed 3 points against the Patriots. So this is your opportunity to measure yourself as a defense without Trayvon Diggs, but measure yourself against a really good team, a really great team, and how both sides of the ball react, defense and offense, really is going to tell us a lot of things about where this team is. Now, good news about this, win or lose, right? It's so early on in the season that you can really build on a lot of the things that we're going to see in this game here. But we have to stop the run. We have to stop the run. And I said it a few weeks back, right? The Cowboys were very focused on building this defensive line and building a good run defense. They went out, they got Mozzie Smith, they re-signed Jonathan Hankins. They did everything they could to rebuild that. And DeMarcus Lawrence, he does not get enough credit from the Dallas Cowboys nation. DeMarcus Lawrence is one of the, if not best, run stoppers in the NFL. And then obviously you have Micah Parsons on the side. And, I got to stop for a moment and just say, this is a really good matchup. I know I've already said that, but anytime you think the 49ers have a player where the Cowboys have an answer, and it works the other way too. Every time you think the Cowboys have an edge or they have a player that can do this, the 49ers have an answer. It's really like nothing we've seen recently. I mean, this game is going to be must watch, and I'm already telling you, like, it's going to bring in record views for Sunday Night Football. But take a look at this for me. This is something that we need to look at. Because Christian McCaffrey having an MVP season, right? They're running the ball really well. He's having an explosive season. This offense is running really well for the San Francisco 49ers, second overall. But check this. Last time we played, and I know they're two slightly different teams now, but last time we played, which was in that divisional round last season, Christian McCaffrey was having a really good season, not as spectacular as the start of this season, but he was still having a really solid season. We held Christian McCaffrey to under 50 yards. We held them to under 50 yards, and everyone was talking about how the 49ers were going to come in and run all over the Cowboys in that playoff game. But we were able to limit Christian McCaffrey so much that we limited it to the 49ers and their offense to 19 points and really gave our offense a chance to win. So it's possible is what I'm saying, because I think this defense is better. I think the Cowboys defense is better, and I'm talking about that front seven. They're much better than they were a year ago when they played in that divisional round. So there is a very strong chance that this is a great test and a great opportunity for this run defense to take a big step in the right direction. They had a huge misstep against Arizona a few weeks ago, and they have some weaknesses on the outside run. But I really believe these guys are going to be ready. The Cowboys defense is going to be ready. They've been waiting for this game, and I think we're going to be seeing a very exciting matchup. CMC is probably going to have a few runs because that's what he does, but this defense is really going to hold up. But let's jump into one of the main components of the San Francisco offense. You have Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And basically you can make the argument that when Brock Purdy doesn't throw an interception, the 49ers are undefeated. And Brock Purdy has had one of the most spectacular starts to any NFL career. But here's kind of the bottom line. If you can stop the run, force a turnover, or force some turnovers against this 49ers offense, which I believe this defense can and will do, you put yourself and this offense in a very good position to succeed. And that's kind of what we did in the divisional round last season in the playoffs. But that's the game plan. If you can limit their best weapon, Christian McCaffrey, which we can do, the Cowboys defense can do that. If they don't, forget about it. It's going to be a long night. Then you put Purdy in a position to throw the football. And I don't care who your quarterback is. It's just a statistic. It's mathematically true that if you throw the football more times than you run it, you're creating more risk. And the Cowboys are some ball hawks. That defense can get after the ball and not only get after the quarterback, but they can get some interceptions too. DeRon Bland's coming off a very impressive game, 2 interceptions against the New England Patriots. Also, we got to bring this up because it's kind of a small detail, and I tweeted about it when it first happened. Are we not going to talk about Trey Lance? Trey Lance spent the beginning of his career in San Francisco. You best believe the Cowboys are doing some intel work on Trey Lance, because Trey Lance was just not anybody. He was a quarterback, and the quarterback knows that playbook in and out. Now, I'm not saying that San Francisco doesn't change. I'm sure, obviously, they've changed so many things since Trey Lance left earlier in the season. But that's a little bit of an edge, if you ask me. You do anything to get an edge against your opponent in the game of football. And I'm just saying, could it be? It's a small detail. That's why I left it for the last thing, but who knows? Anyways, let's jump into my defensive predictions for the Cowboys and the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. First off, I think the Dallas Cowboys are the first team to hold the San Francisco 49ers under 30 points. I believe this high-powered offense for the 49ers is going to struggle a little bit, and they're going to have a hard time moving the ball, getting in the end zone, and I think they're going to have a hard time against this defense. And for the first time this season, they're not going to score 30. They're going to be under 30. My next defensive prediction, and this is a big one. Like I said, Brock Purdy has 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions on the year. So my prediction is that comes to an end. I do believe the Dallas Cowboys intercept Brock Purdy for the first time this season, and Brock Purdy will have thrown his first interception of the season. Last but not least, Christian McCaffrey has had an incredible year, running over 100 yards in multiple games, 6 rushing touchdowns, and definitely a front runner for the MVP. But I do believe that this Dallas Cowboys defense does its job, and they're going to hold CMC, Christian McCaffrey, under 100 rushing yards. And there you go. Those are my defensive predictions. Now, I would like a disclaimer on that. If they do 3 of those things, that does not guarantee a win, because we got to talk about the offense. The Dallas Cowboys offense versus the San Francisco 49ers defense. Let's take a look at the stats, shall we? Compared to the 49ers offense, the Dallas Cowboys are ranked 11th in the league. And I will say this about the Dallas Cowboys offense, and everyone's talking about the red zone offense and the miscues and the mishaps and the struggles down there, and that's all very true, right? I have said this a couple of weeks back, but they are moving the ball really, really, really well. They're running it well. They're getting the ball out of Dak's hands, putting it in their playmakers' hands, and moving the ball. It's just for some reason down there in the red zone when we get into that last 20 yards, there is so much struggling going down there. Everyone's struggling. The players, the play design, the play schemes, the blocking. And it wasn't until we ran Hunter Lipke at the goal line that we finally found a solution for the first time in 8 possessions. But that is something about the offense. We're 14th in passing and we're 7th in rushing. So we're there, statistically, yes, the 49ers lead in all those categories. And one thing that people are going to say is, well, the 49ers, you see who they played? They played the Steelers, they played the Cardinals, they played Guys, look at who we played. We played the same caliber of opponents that the 49ers did. The difference is the 49ers handled their business. They handled their business because that's what great teams do consistently. They're 4-0, and the Cowboys should be 4-0, but they're not because they screwed up in Arizona. And that tells a lot about a team. And I know what you're going to say. It's Arizona, it's the NFL, it's the NFL. No. I heard a once great coach says, he once said, you are what your record says you are. So the 49ers are perfect. They're 4-0. And the Cowboys are really good. They're 3-1. But if the Cowboys were great, if they were perfect, they would be 4-0 as well. So as much as we want as fans to throw that game of Arizona under the rug and forget about it and never think about it again, it's still glaringly there. And it exists as a game tape for everyone. And you best believe the 49ers are watching that game tape, because in there, it's not just because the Cowboys came out lackluster and lazy. That's why they lost the game. No, the Cowboys went up against a really good game plan that the Cardinals had, which was to stretch the run. And here's my next thing. The Texas Coast is a beautiful offense. It really is. And it really complements Dak at this moment, where Dak doesn't really have to think out there. The Texas Coast has such a beautiful play design, and I got to really do a film breakdown with you guys earlier in the week, and I'm really thinking about it and adding it to the slate of videos that I do throughout the week. But the Texas Coast really allows for a quick pass down to give it to one of our playmakers and move the ball, and it's been so successful in the past 4 weeks besides the Arizona game. Well, actually, I'll throw in the Arizona game because we moved the ball pretty well there too. But what the Cardinals did is kind of the weakness in the Texas Coast offense. Because if you look at the play design, it's all basically centered around getting one person open. If you can beat that first read, then you force the quarterback, Dak Prescott, to then go through his progressions. Now, the problem with the Texas Coast offense is because it's designed to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick and get it to the one guy, You have a lot of other routes, basically just distractions or basically just picks to basically get that one man open. So when you take that away and you're forcing any quarterback, and this is not a hate on Dak or anything, you're just forcing any quarterback now to not only extend the play, but go through his progressions and find a different man. And you saw that a lot in Arizona where Dak had to move around in the pocket. This is troublesome, and this causes trouble. Why? Not only for the reasons that I just named, now you got a quarterback running, now you're extending the time in the pocket, but the 49ers, they got some ball hawks too. They can get after the ball. They can tip the ball. They can be physical and aggressive with the wide receivers even when the ball is headed their way to the wide receiver. That's number one, right? The risk of throwing the football goes up anytime you pass it. But second, this pass rush, it's not like the Arizona Cardinals, right? Dak can buy a few seconds. And I think he can do that against the 49ers too. But the 49ers are one of the best pass rushing defenses, just like the Cowboys are. So you take that first read away, Dak doesn't have as much time to go through his progressions, and now he's literally on the run. So that's something you're really going to want to see. And this is why the Cowboys need Mike McCarthy, Brian Schottenheimer. They need to extend the offense. They need a play out, right? And I'm going to pull the next gen stats here for Dak for last week. You look at all those green dots. It's all that Texas coast, right? It's all under 10 yards. But if you can spread the field, if you can take shots downfield, if you can implement that in the offense, and Dak can, and we got the wide receivers, and please, for the love of God Almighty, use Brandon Cooks. Use Brandon Cooks. It makes no sense for us to get excited about acquiring a talent like Brandon Cooks, who's had multiple 1,000-yard seasons in multiple different systems. And for him not to be effective at this point of the season, going into week 5, that is insane. And that is a failure on the Cowboys coaching part for not getting him in the game plan. I'm hoping it's different this game, but those are a couple things that need to happen if the Cowboys want to take that next step, not only in the red zone offense, but as an offense. And that's going to click. I said it last week. We got to be patient. These things are going to figure itself out. It's just a tough test now because you're doing it against the San Francisco 49ers. But here's another thing too. Unbiased and realistically, I like our boys. I like our team. I think they're a good team. But if there was a time to fix the red zone offense, it would have been against the Giants. It would have been against the Jets. It should have been against the Cardinals. And it should have been against the Patriots. Even though we got that one touchdown, there were still a lot of struggles with the red zone offense. You're telling me now that we're playing one of the best defenses in football, that we're going to fix that red zone offense. That's hard to believe as an unbiased and realistic Cowboys fan. You had 4 other easier opportunities to fix that against less talented defenses, but now you got to fix it. Oh, but now it's against one of the better defenses that will take advantage if you do not execute on both sides of the ball. So that's one thing too. Now here's the other thing. Tyron Smith's status, it's still in the air. As I make this video, he's limited in practice. And that's a big thing, because it's been 23 consecutive games since the Cowboys have had all 5 starting offensive linemen. If he's in that game, that makes a huge difference, dramatic difference. And that honestly could change my game prediction. But as of now, I'm not counting on it. I'm not counting on this offensive line playing together. And that's where I stand there. Here's another thing before I could jump into my offensive predictions before this game. The quarterback to turn the ball over at the worst time in this game, that's going to be the quarterback that loses this game. And I think Purdy's going to throw an interception, and I think Dak's going to throw an interception. That's not a disrespect to both the caliber of players that they are. They're great quarterbacks, but you're going up against a good defense. You're going to have some struggles, and it's going to be difficult for both of them. And Purdy could throw 2 interceptions, and I kind of think that the 49ers would be fine because they're that talented of a team. And same goes for the Cowboys. I think if Dak throws an interception, we're good enough to still overcome that turnover. But the quarterback who throws it at the worst time, and the first game I think about is that Cowboys and Broncos game from years ago, right? Romo and Manning. Peyton, they both threw an interception. Peyton threw it earlier in the game. It didn't really matter then. It did turn into points, but Romo turned it over at the worst time in one of the final drives of the game. So these quarterbacks are going to make mistakes on Sunday night because these are really good defenses going at it. But the quarterback to make it at the worst time at the end of the game, that's nail in the coffin. And that's just something I want you guys to key in on and keep an eye up. So here we go. Offensive predictions for the Cowboys and the 49ers. I do believe Jake Ferguson capitalizes on his big game that he had against the Patriots, and I believe he gets in the end zone and he has a touchdown. And here's another one. I've been saying it for the past few weeks, and I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. You got to get Brandon Cooks involved, and if you're not, you're just doing a disservice to yourself. So I'm believing that Brandon Cooks gets in the end zone and he gets his first touchdown as a Dallas Cowboy. Last but not least, we got to include Dak Prescott in our offensive predictions. I believe he's going to throw over 200 yards. I believe he's going to throw 2 touchdowns. And I know you're all waiting for this one. Is he going to throw an interception? Is he not going to throw an interception? My prediction is, sure, I believe he throws an interception. But the Cowboys are good enough to overcome that, so don't worry about that. Last but not least, thank you so much for hanging out with me and tuning into this pregame prediction video. This is definitely a longer one than it should be, but that is perfectly fine because there's a lot to go over in this game. And here's my game prediction. Guys, I'm an unbiased and realistic Cowboys fan, and I'm going to tell you like it is every single time. You ask any Cowboys fan, they will automatically say, yup, that's a win. But if you had asked them 2 years ago in the wild card, they said the same thing and it didn't happen. And if you had asked them a year ago, it didn't happen then as well. Look, the 49ers are a better team. They're still a better team. And they're at home. If the Cowboys want to take that step from pretenders to contenders, this is the game to do it. And if they really are that team, they will do it. And they will win this game if they do all those things. It's just kind of hard for me to believe that's going to happen this game. Like I said, the 49ers have a lot more answers at this moment with their team. And we have a lot of question marks in terms of our run defense. Can we stay consistent enough? Our offensive line, can they be healthy enough to at least play one game together with all 5 starting offensive linemen? Can our red zone offense function? Sure. Can they fix it all and win this game? Absolutely. I'm just saying, as an unbiased and realistic Cowboys fan, I can't say that it does. That doesn't mean that it's the end of the season. That doesn't mean I'm a fake fan. It's a long season, guys. So if they end up losing this game, it's not the end of the world. The Cowboys are still a really good team. And if they drop down to 3-2, there's no need to panic. They'll still be going to the playoffs. You can guarantee that. So with that being said, my final game prediction for this game, I think it's going to be an instant classic. I think it's going to be a clash between both teams. I'm choosing the 49ers. Yes, the 49ers to win this game at home, 27-24. Like I said, do not panic. Obviously, if they win, great. I'll eat crow. But as a fan, I'm going to be happy that they win. But if they lose, it's only week 5, guys. Don't make it more than it needs to be. This is not a playoff game. This is week 5. And it's a great opportunity for the Cowboys to figure out who they really are on the road and against a really good playoff team. Something that you probably wouldn't figure out until later in the season. So don't worry. Don't worry. This is a really good game. You really should enjoy it, not stress out about it. I'm excited for this game. I can't wait to see it. It's all the stakes, but with no stakes, really. But other than that, thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Be sure to hit the like button and watch my Madden prediction video. That's going to be coming out tomorrow. And I will definitely see you guys after the game on Sunday to break down everything. I'll see you guys then. Go Cowboys.
Prescott, touchdown.